Hey guys, how's it going? I assume a lot of you who watch my videos grew up on Japanese media, whether it be anime or video games, and like a lot of people who grew up on Japanese media, you probably have an inspiration to come to Japan someday, like I have, and if you do, power to you, and if you do, please hit me up, and I will get you hammered, but don't come to Fukui, there's not much here in Fukui to do. But what's a good way to know about what to do in Japan? What's a good tour guide in Japan? Besides me, obviously. Subscribe for more Japan videos, okay? Okay. But in the meantime, though, why don't we play Yakuza Kiwami 2? There are 2 cities playable in this game, and, well, let's go take a tour of Japan. Ready to experience Japan? There's no place like Kamurocho. Come on down for the exciting city life. Kamurocho has all one needs to paint the town red. There's dancing clubs playing the newest music, Club Sega with some of the hottest games around like Virtua Fighter 2, Virtual On, and the newest game in bathroom entertainment, toilets. There are plenty of bars to drink the night away, some of the best food in town with some amazing restaurants for any sort of palate. And then after that, we can work up a sweat at the batting cages, and then take the bat to some punk's face. Kamurocho isn't to your liking? Sotenbori in Osaka might be up your alley. Come for the takoyaki and the chuhais, stay for the golf. Not up for some links? The lovely ladies of Osaka are waiting for you at For Shine. Bring money. And of course, there are enough thugs, gangsters, and greasers to beat down into next Tuesday. How's my sales pitch? Seriously though, if I had $1 for every person who told me they want to come to Japan, I would have a few extra dollars, wouldn't I? Yakuza Kiwami 2 is a remake of the PlayStation 2 title, Yakuza 2. Yakuza 2 is often considered by fans to be the strongest game in the franchise, barring 0 and maybe 5, thanks to it greatly improving on Yakuza 1 by expanding the game world with another city, having tighter combat, more mini-games and side quests, and having a very engaging plot with a very cool antagonist. In 2, Kazuma Kiryu is back at it again, trying to go on the straight path but is pulled back into the underworld of Japan when current chairman of the Tojo clan, Yukio Tadada, is murdered by Omi Alliance. Desperate to stop an all-out war, Kiryu must beat the hell out of a bunch of gangsters before taking it to his rival, Ryuji Goda, before Goda starts an all-out war in Japan. Don't worry, as serious as that description sounds, the humor is still here in Yakuza Kiwami 2. After all, this is the game where you beat up a bunch of diaper fetishists. And that's one thing I love about the Yakuza games. You go from this super serious crime drama filled with enough death and tragedy to leave anyone in tears or horrified for their life, to posing shirtless for a man in a Speedo or taking pictures of gravure models. I need to start doing photo shoots like that. Much like how Yakuza Kiwami 1 was based off of Yakuza 0's engine, Yakuza Kiwami 2 is based off of Yakuza 6's engine. Yakuza Kiwami 2 might be the best looking game in the franchise besides 6. The characters are super detailed, the world is super beautiful, and it doesn't do that annoying thing in cutscenes where it just zooms in on one character's face for a bit. Like, we get it, you can do mocap faces, but show off the environment, that looks really good. On the flip side though, I thought the combat system in Kiwami 2 to be not as fun as it is in 0 or Kiwami 1. I liked having all those stances to mess around with, and there were more heat attacks to use in 0 and Kiwami. 6, and by extension Kiwami 2, only use the dragon fighting style and the extreme heat mode, which I didn't find all that useful in Kiwami 2. Kiryu does a stupid amount of damage with heat attacks, so just save heat for those. I will say I found weapons to be more useful in Kiwami 2 than in other games, if for nothing else just to have some range and more options in battle. And for the record, I'm playing on hard mode here. Don't get me wrong though, I'm not saying the combat in Yakuza Kiwami 2 is bad. Far from it, it's still very satisfying and very fun to beat the shit out of people, but I just prefer the combat in 0 more. That's what I'm saying. A much improved change from Yakuza Kiwami 1 is that there's no more Kiwami heat attacks. It was an annoying mechanic where a boss would be stunned, but they would be healed until you used a certain heat attack against them. That's gone here in Kiwami 2. Instead, we get special finishing heat attacks against the bosses. Charge up your heat and then let it rip with a finishing blow. A minigame returning from 6 is Clan Creator, the mobile-inspired game where you take control of Majima construction and try to stop the various New Japan wrestlers from stopping Majima and building Kamurocho Hills. Another game returning to Kiwami 2 is the Hostess Club running game from Yakuza 0, and it plays quite well. I don't know why, but it is just a ton of fun chatting with these girls. Maybe it's a reflection of my own non-existent love life. And no, I'm not about to drop $300 just to talk to these girls at my local whack-ass hostess club. The beauty about the Clan Creator and the Hostess minigames is that they're both games in their own right with their own unique storylines, and they're both deep enough to be their own games. And thankfully, Yakuza Kiwami 2 gives you enough time to breathe and enjoy these sub-stories at your own leisure. Speaking of new stories in Yakuza Kiwami 2, there's a new original story featuring everyone's favorite gangster slash everybody's idol slash construction manager, Goro Majima. It's short, there's no sub-stories, but it is nice taking control of the Mad Dog once again. Unlocking Majima's plot is a bit of a pain though. You have to play the main story to unlock the next chapter instead of doing his story all in one go. That's whack, so I recommend just playing through the story until you get all of Majima's story, then go to town as the Mad Dog. As much fun as I'm having with Yakuza Kiwami 2, and I am having a lot of fun with the game, don't get me wrong, there is just one thing on the back of my mind. A horrible truth about the Yakuza lifestyle that I need to come to terms with. All the Yakuza games are the same. You always play as the same dude, occasionally with some other dudes in the same bit of Tokyo, occasionally with another city like Sotenbori or Onomichi to explore. You fight the same dudes in the street, and the plot always revolves around someone in the Tojo clan ruining everything for everybody, and the final battle is always a shirtless punch-out in some building. Hell, I could have not played Kiwami 2 and give you a fairly accurate review just from experience. The thing is though, despite the similarities between all the Yakuza games, each game stands on its own. Unlike, say, Call of Duty or Assassin's Creed, none of the Yakuza games are disposable. Each game offers a unique, memorable story with some well-developed characters, with enough triumphs, tragedies, and laughs to make each game its own beast. The world of Kamurocho is vital to all of this. Each time Kiryu and I go back, it's like going back to your hometown after moving out of it for a few years. Familiar enough to feel like home, but with enough changes to make it worth exploring all over again. And of course, the center of the Yakuza games is the man of the hour, Kazuma Kiryu. Kiryu himself is a very likable guy. He has his problems, his own conflicts, his own secrets, but he has so many noble traits that it makes him so endearing. He's loyal, he's a good listener, gives good advice, and will give a hand if you need it. Just be sure not to piss him off. I admire Kiryu for him attempting to be a better person for himself and those he cares about, rather than being some boring, invincible killing machine. He also plays off the crazy world of Kamurocho quite well. Kiryu isn't funny himself, but what is funny is how he reacts to the situations he gets himself into because of his good-spirited nature. And more to the point, it's just fun to walk around in the Dragon of Dojima's shoes, experiencing life in Japan through him. And that's what makes Yakuza so special. It's not just one part of the Yakuza games that makes it. It's a combination of the combat, the minigames, the side stories, the story itself, and the characters and Kiryu himself that makes each game unique. It's a game about life, and sometimes that's all you need for a great game. What I'm trying to say there at the end, I've been playing the same game 4 times in the past 2 years, and I'm still having a ton of fun. What do you think I'm going to give Yakuza Kiwami 2? You already know I'm going to give Yakuza Kiwami 2. I'm giving it a 9 out of 10. It's a really good game. Highly recommended, like these other games for the PS4. And you bet your ass when the remasters come out for the PS4, a 3, 4, 5, you're damn skippy I'm buying those games for the PS4. I haven't played those yet, so I'm looking forward to checking those out. I still haven't gotten Fist of the North Star. Like, it just really slipped underneath my radar. Like, I love Fist of the North Star, and I love Yakuza. Like, it's a match made in heaven. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching. Remember to like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Hit the bell as well. And, yeah, I'll see you next week for a new episode of The ZMan Show. Remember, kids, Kiryu-chan for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Gino, he's kind of whack, but he ain't as cool as the Dragon of Dojima. You gotta admit that. You gotta admit. Kiryu is cooler than Gino.